Good evening. You may be seated. Good evening, everyone. I'm Terry Miller. I serve as chair for the Department of Respiratory Therapy and Health Sciences. And on behalf of the faculty and staff of the department, it is my honor to welcome you all, those here and those who might be at home joining, to the Spring 2026 pinning ceremony for respiratory therapy here at Middle Georgia State University. At this time, I would ask you to please silence any cell phones or other devices which may distract from the importance of this ceremony. I welcome our special guests, Dr. Tara Underwood, Dean for the School of Health and Natural Sciences, Dr. Donna Ingram, our Associate Dean for the School of Health and Natural Sciences, Dr. Michael Stewart, Associate Vice President of Student Affairs, and part of our advisory committee, Ms. Nancy White, Vice President of University Advancement. We are happy to have you join us this evening. I'd also like to thank and recognize our faculty in attendance, Ms. Jasmine Brown, Director of Clinical Education, Ms. Alexis Pope, Assistant Professor of Respiratory Therapy, Mr. Sam Collier, Assistant Professor of Respiratory Therapy, Mr. Chris Scoggins, Dr. Chris Scoggins, Assistant Professor of Health Sciences, and Ms. Larica Clark, Full-Time Clinical Instructor for Respiratory Therapy. I'd also like to share that Ms. Nancy Geisey, Associate Professor of Respiratory Therapy, was unable to join us, but sends her best wishes for the graduates. This year's pinning ceremony will celebrate the accomplishments of our class of 2026. They are about to experience an important transition in their lives, from being students in this program to be the ones that are responsible for saving patients' lives. I'd also like to take a moment to recognize our faculty and staff for what has been a monumental year for our respiratory therapy program. Our program has a rich history, having begun in 1994, graduating hundreds of respiratory therapists out there in our workforce today. For the past 7 years, our Bachelor of Science Respiratory Therapy entry-level program, the program our graduates are graduating from, has been recognized for outstanding RRT credentialing success by the Commission on Accreditation for Respiratory Care, our accrediting body, which translates so that when our students graduate, they are well prepared to successfully complete the RRT credential and enter the workforce. I'm pleased to share that we have been notified that we will receive our 8th award this coming July. Additionally, this past year, we received the American Association for Respiratory Care's APEX designation, an honor demonstrating quality programming that surpasses accreditation standards. This did not happen overnight, and it took a tremendous effort from our faculty and staff, as well as a strong support from our university administration and our local partners and our advisory committee. I am personally grateful to serve with this team, and I wanted to take this opportunity to share my congratulations and thanks for their commitment to our students, our profession, and the community. Well done. To our guests, on behalf of the faculty and students, I'd like to offer our sincere thanks to each of you, their family and friends, special people in their lives, for your support that you've given each of them through the years. Your support truly means so much, and we celebrate you as well, because this is an important time for you too. Thank you. If you have never been a part of a pinning ceremony, I would particularly like to extend to you a special welcome, as you are about to participate in an event which truly marks a milestone in the lives of those who are honored with the invitation to be pinned. It is an invitation. Much as graduation is an important event in the lives of our graduates, pinning is a special celebration for those preparing to enter the field of healthcare. Historians can actually trace the tradition back to the Crusades of the 12th century, when a group of knights tended to and cared for injured and suffering crusaders. When new monks were brought into the Knights' Order, they decided to continue helping the sick soldiers and held a ceremony for each monk. It was given a Maltese cross, which they wore on their arm. Spring forward to the 1860s, when Florence Nightingale was honored with the Red Cross of St. George for her selfless efforts for injured men in the Crimean War. She believed in acknowledging a job well done and presented a Medal of Excellence for her hardest working nursing graduates. In 1916, it became a standard in the U.S. to honor all nursing graduates with a pin during a special ceremony, and has since become a special ceremony for other healthcare professions who graduate as well. So, as you see, a pinning ceremony for respiratory therapy graduates at Middle Georgia State University has even more significance, as we are, after all Knights. I hope each graduate who is pinned this evening will wear your pins with pride in knowing that you have accomplished something very special. And I hope you remember that you are and always will be a son and daughter of Middle Georgia State University and the Department of Respiratory Therapy here, and we are really proud of you. It is now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Tara Underwood, Dean for the School of Health and Natural Sciences, to share a few words with us. Dr. Underwood.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Okay, let's put some energy behind that. I know for some of us it's been a long day, but this is a great and momentous occasion that we get to celebrate some very special people this evening. And as Professor Miller mentioned, we do not take that APEX designation lightly at all. That is a national designation which speaks to the caliber and the excellence of our program in respiratory therapy. As Professor Miller mentioned, I'm the dean not only over respiratory therapy, but also over nursing. We will be pinning our nursing students tomorrow evening, and we have occupational therapy, rehabilitation science, and a new physical therapy assistant program that we're starting on our Dublin campus this fall. So we're very busy, but we are committed to excellence and providing healthcare workers in the Central Georgia region, which is definitely needed, okay? So with all that said, I'm truly excited to be here tonight to celebrate you, our respiratory program graduates. Your decision to choose a profession that contributes to critical patient care, and survival is vital to our region, to the state of Georgia, and to the nation. An unknown author once said, "Remember, as long as you are breathing, it's never too late to start a new beginning." Okay, remember that. You have purposefully chosen a profession that enables men, women, and children to start new beginnings, to learn from the past, and to pursue a productive and healthy future. Breathing is often sometimes something we take for granted until we have a struggle or a situation. At that moment, we realize how important our respiratory systems are to our existence. During the COVID-19 pandemic, I served as the COVID-19 liaison for the university, and breathing was definitely something that people realized is important and how important your profession in respiratory therapy played in their survival. So take that to heart and realize that you are superheroes in the lives of many human beings throughout the nation. As I take a few minutes to welcome you, your supportive family members, friends, and loved ones to this special occasion, I personally also want to say thank you. Thank you for studying for those exams. Thank you for going to those clinical sites with a great attitude, willing and ready to learn. Thank you for learning from your dynamic instructors. Thank you for not quitting and never giving up. Thank you for being a part of the change that you want to see in our healthcare industry. Thank you to each and every one of you for just being you. You are all unique and special in your own ways, and never forget that. Each day you go to work, be determined to be your best representation of our RT program and your employer's new employee by performing well and making ethical decisions with integrity, as you are probably taught by our amazing and excellent RT team. Be consistent in setting your standards high when it comes to patient care. Remember that you are taking care of someone's loved one, and treat that patient as if they are your beloved relative. Also, be sensitive to the fact that many of you will be working in highly stressful situations with family members that may be frightened about the future of their loved one. Do not take their emotional outbreaks personal. Remain professional. Always remember to keep your head up, keep pressing forward, and remember that you matter to your healthcare team, to your profession, and to your loved ones. I wish you many blessings, much success, and a prosperous future that you can ever dream of. Congratulations, everyone. Go Knights.
Thank you, Dr. Underwood. We have shared with you that our program was built upon a strong foundation and has a rich history. And at this time, I'd like to thank the graduating class for allowing us this opportunity to share another message with everyone. An enormous part of that history is Professor Emeritus of Respiratory Therapy, the late Dr. Charles Matson. As I mentioned, this year has had many highs, but we have also experienced some of our lowest points as well. One was the loss of our friend, mentor, and colleague, Dr. Matson. We would like to thank his wife, Karen, for being with us through the past year. Karen was intending to be here this evening, but she unfortunately at the last minute could not. Dr. Matson was born in 1955 and was raised here in Macon. He graduated from Central High School and went on to graduate with his Bachelor of Science in Respiratory Therapy from the Medical College of Georgia, which is now Augusta University, in 1980. He'd also received a degree from the University of Georgia and later his doctorate from University of Georgia. But when he graduated with his bachelor's in respiratory therapy, he entered the workforce at the Medical Center of Central Georgia, which is now Atrian Health here in our community. He soon began transitioning not just from a staff therapist, but to various leadership roles, and eventually the education coordinator for respiratory care. It's safe to say that Charles had a gift for teaching others and a passion especially for students. As such, Charles advanced his degree and accepted a position here at Middle Georgia State University, at the time Macon State, in 2000. He accepted the position as program director. And under his leadership, our program thrived, and we grew even more. Dr. Matson served as the president for the Georgia Society for Respiratory Care, and he taught thousands of folks through his many courses and associations that he worked with, many of them advanced cardiac life support, basic life support, pediatric advanced life support. If you had the fortune to know Charles, you knew he made learning fun. He really did. He was always willing to help others, and he always put others before himself. He consistently did that. He had a few passions beyond respiratory therapy. First, he was a Christian and loved his Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. His wife, Karen, and his children, Sam and Jana, were his priorities and his pride. He also passionately, and I mean passionately, loved golf. And when he wasn't at MGA, he could often be found perfecting his game, and he did not mind telling you about it. In 2023, Charles decided the time for retirement had come. We didn't decide that. He decided that. And he slowly transitioned to the life of leisure as he continued to teach with us part-time. In 2025, he made the decision to fully retire because he had a life in retirement, he said, that was really good. And he didn't mind telling that to us either. In September 21st, 2025, we lost Charles after a short illness, and he left us all too quickly. We miss him daily, and we love him still. He has forever impacted the profession of respiratory therapy through all he gave, especially here at Middle Georgia State University, and we are all very grateful. We have established a retired faculty and staff endowed scholarship through our foundation, and we were thankful that Dr. Madsen's legacy will live on through it, as well as through his family and all those he has touched. We celebrate him today, and we remember him today. At this time, I would like to invite any of our faculty or special guests who would like to share any short thoughts, memories about Charles that you wish. If you would like to come up here, we would welcome you to the stage. I can tell it's one of those moments. With that being said, I would like to ask Professor Jasmine Brown if she would like the candles. At this time, we light the candles in memory of Charles as a part of our ceremony this evening, as he was certainly a light for many. We are glad to have him here in some small way as we celebrate our graduates. At this time, I would ask you to join me in a moment of silence in memory of Dr. Charles Madsen, Professor Emeritus of Respiratory Therapy. Thank you. Okay. At this time, I'd like to welcome Mr. Professor Sam Collier, Assistant Professor of Respiratory Therapy here at Middle Georgia State University. He will deliver our keynote address at the request of our graduates. Professor Collier serves as an assistant professor in our respiratory therapy programs and has worked with our cohort over the past 2 years. In fact, he started with them. I know he has much to share with you as he addresses our students and audience with a special message. Professor Collier.
Thank you, Terry. Good evening, everyone. Welcome, families, friends, faculty, and graduates. First, I want to say how honored I am to stand here tonight to speak at your pinning ceremony. It's a special night. It represents the end of one chapter and the beginning of another. Tonight, you're not just students finishing a program. You're stepping into a profession of respiratory therapy. Before I speak directly to you guys, I do want to say a few words about the late Dr. Charles Mattson. Charles, he was great, he was nice, he was genius, but he was a unique person, and I don't say that lightly. He was a great teacher, somebody who cared deeply about respiratory therapy and about the students preparing to enter the profession. Charles left an impact that goes beyond the classroom. He shaped how we think, how we care, and how we treat others. Charles heavily influenced the way I teach. A lot of the way my approach is in teaching came from how he instructed, and I remember that vividly going through the program. How he guided the students, how he made difficult concepts feel understandable. He didn't just give information. He helped students become capable of finding the answer, understanding the reason behind it, and using that knowledge when it mattered the most. I sometimes think of teaching like this. It's kind of an analogy. If there's a horse in a barn and a tub of water nearby, it's not my job to blindfold the horse, turn it loose, and then decide it only deserves to pass if somehow it finds the water on its own. My job is to lead the horse to the water, show it where the water is, teach it well enough that the next time it knows how to find that water on its own. That is the kind of teacher Charles was. He guided people, he invested in them, and he helped build confidence. He's someone I could only strive to be like. I hope some of what I learned from him passes on to you guys. I'm so glad that each one of you guys got to meet him briefly, experience his mentorship, and the kind of educator he was. I hope you carry some of that with your careers. I'd also like to say I'm truly thankful you guys had me speak at your ceremony tonight. It means a lot to me. It means that maybe I meant something to you during the time of the program. Maybe there was something I said, maybe there was something I taught, something you saw in me that you felt that you could take with you in your practice or even in your life in general. For that, I thank you. You've worked hard to get to this moment in this time. You've made it through lectures, clinical rotations, checkoffs, exams, case studies, ventilator concepts, ABGs, disease processes, and probably more stress than you ever expected when you started. There were probably times when you felt that you might not make it, but you're here and you did. Respiratory therapy is not an easy profession. It requires knowledge, skills, quick thinking, and calm judgment, but it also requires compassion. We're often called into the room when breathing becomes difficult for people, when patients are scared, when families are worried, and when the situation changes quickly. In those moments, your presence matters. Your confidence matters. Your ability to stay calm matters. And your willingness to treat each patient like a person and not a diagnosis matters. As you move into practice, I want to encourage you to not become passive in your profession. Do not fall in the habit of doing something simply because this is how we do it here. That kind of thinking becomes dangerous. Healthcare changes, evidence changes, guidelines change. and a good respiratory therapist must continue to grow and not become dogmatic. Use your clinical guidelines. Stick to what you know is right. Practice the way it's supposed to be done, not just the way that it's always been done. Be respectful, but also advocate for your patients. When entering the field of healthcare and medicine, you will have a deficit of knowledge. There's no doubt about that. But every specialty, when they enter healthcare and medicine, they have a deficit of knowledge. But I mention this, and I ask, please, do not replace or hide your knowledge deficit with attitude, okay? I'll repeat that. Do not replace or hide your knowledge deficit with attitude, okay? Replace it with humble curiosity. You will be much more respected. What a great time to be a respiratory therapist, right? As a profession, you're becoming more and more recognized in this role. I see how physicians in this day and age understand how valuable you are. I hear them. The difficulty of understanding the mechanical and physiological aspects of mechanical ventilation, hemodynamics, and respiratory physiology. It's not easy, and I'm sure you guys know that, right? So be proud of yourselves. Be proud of the knowledge that you've accumulated. If you have the opportunity to work with one of your classmates, look out for each other, support each other, help each other grow, and remember where you started. You're entering a profession that requires teamwork. It's not optional, it's essential. Tonight, the pin you receive is more than a symbol that you finished a program. It represents responsibility, trust. It represents a patient who will depend on you. It represents families who will look to you for reassurance and education. It represents the profession that you are now becoming a part of. To the families and friends here tonight, we want to thank you. I know these graduates did not get here alone. You supported them, you encouraged them, and you listened to them, and probably sacrificed more than anybody realizes. To the graduates, I'm proud of you. On behalf of the faculty, we're proud of you, right? Your families are proud of you, but more importantly, you should be proud of yourself. As you leave tonight, unique. Continue being unique. Kayla, keep the ambition and advocacy for your patients. Matthew, Colin, keep being smooth and witty. Lamarla, keep asking questions. Deanne, keep having patience. The people you care for will appreciate it. Brandon, continue the focus and determination. Angie, keep the curiosity. Dontrice, continue the kind and soft personality that you have. Sierra, continue the leadership. Londra, keep that confidence. Janaya, keep the compassion. Torio Real, keep being calm. Your colleagues will need that. Chantrell, put that marketing and selling to good use when you're a respiratory therapist. Malachi, continue the work ethic. Tanisha, keep the sassiness on a PRN basis. Congratulations to each one of you. Thank you so much. Thank you for continuing this journey with me. As Terry said, I started with you guys, and you guys have taught me a lot, and I hope we all can grow together. I've grown with you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sam. One of the things, I don't think I pointed this out, but 3 of our full-time faculty here are actually alumni of our program. So when they say they know what it's like, they know what it's like, for sure. Thank you for your special message, and also for your service and dedication to the university. The profession of respiratory therapy is one that those who wish to become a respiratory therapist prepare to become a specialist in cardiopulmonary care. Students enter a rigorous program of training which is strongly science-focused, and it requires learners to think critically and respond quickly, and prepares them to deliver the highest level of critical care to premature babies, from premature babies to the elderly. Please join me for a moment, a short video of some of our, at the time it was our students, but now it's some of our alumni who helped make, that shows just a little bit of what respiratory therapists do. We're the ones at the stork squads when premature babies are born. We work with high-fidelity simulation and use the latest technology to care for patients on things like mechanical ventilators. And we do airway management to help premature babies, adults, breathe. There's a lot of science involved in the things that we do and how we care for those patients. It takes a lot of hands-on practice, hours, and time in the laboratory to prepare, especially in our critical care areas. Teamwork is really important. We work with nurses, physicians, and other healthcare providers to take care of the most critical of patients. In our program, we not only learn to be respiratory therapists, but we also engage in the community and try to raise awareness of pulmonary disease. That's just a little bit of respiratory therapy. And so what I would ask you is, if you still wonder what a respiratory therapist is and what we do, ask our graduates. They can tell you all about it. But also there's some great sites that you can visit to learn how respiratory therapists impact our patients that we serve. Few understand that when a respiratory therapist graduates, they generally begin caring for patients in ICU immediately upon hire. That's a little different than a lot of the other disciplines out there. And it requires them to be well prepared and focused. All students complete rigorous academic coursework, community service, clinical rotations, and simulation activities, and develop into being an empathetic caregiver who can communicate easily with a multidisciplinary care team. All achieve great things while in the program. However, some do so while maintaining excellent grades. It is now my pleasure to welcome Ms. Jasmine Brown, assisted by Ms. Larica Clark, forward to help make special award presentations.
Thank you. All right, a few years ago, we identified a need to have respiratory therapist students gain advanced knowledge for neonatal patients. It's the little tiny little babies. Respiratory therapists care for patients of all ages. However, the skills needed to care for neonatal populations are unique and not something every therapist fully develops, because the students will let you know, I do not work with babies. I just work with the adults. Identifying the demand for skilled respiratory therapists and caring for neonatal patients, I created a neonatal track. Our neonatal specialty track is a unique program that is offered at most other, that's not offered at most other respiratory therapy programs, but our unique program is open to any MGA-RT senior who wants to apply. The students who apply and are accepted spend extra time in our lab learning about the special skills needed to care for the neonatal population. The time includes advanced discussion on how to prepare for high-risk deliveries, how to stabilize neonatal patients, how to manage and care for unstable neonatal patients, advance their skills and knowledge on special equipment used within the delivery room and the neonatal intensive care unit. And they practice hands-on with simulation mannequins. The past few years, we are glad to say we have added nursing students to our program. Caring for patients is about a team, and the addition of nursing students helps develop our understanding of each professional role. And most importantly, it develops communication skills across discipline. It's not, however, just advancing their skills and knowledge they gain from the classroom. It's about developing comfort and caring for neonates. In addition to the extra time in the lab, the students are accepted into our neonatal track will also complete extra clinical hours in addition to their regular extern hours. These hours are dedicated to working with the neonatal intensive care unit. It is true additional commitment from these selected students, and we're very proud that they have begun their professional working directly in the neonatal ICU, something that is quite rare. As a mark of their hard work and dedication, each receives a certificate and a pin with baby feet to wear with pride. The students who completed the neonatal track for the class of 2026 are, when I call your name, please come up and receive your certificate and your baby feet from Miss Professor Clark. First up, Sierra Morris. Y'all get your pictures? Okay. Thank you, congratulations. Alondra Perez. Congratulations. Janiyah Rhodes. Come on, Dimples. Kayla Wilkerson. Congratulations. Kayla with an H, because she had to keep telling me that because I left the H off all the time. Kayla with an H. Congratulations. Professor Ghazi, who coordinates our neonatal track, asks us to send her congratulations and thanks to each of you. We hope to see you continue to grow and become neonatal pediatric specialists one day. That's a specialty credential that we can get as well. Becoming a respiratory therapist is a challenging pursuit with many long, hard hours of study, clinicals, community service, and more. It's always a pleasure to recognize those students who are at top in their class, as it is important to reward their diligence and hard work. At this time, I would like to recognize Angelique Hawkins for the class of 2026 for holding the highest GPA in her class. Congratulations, Angie. Please come up and get your certificate. Congratulations for your hard work and dedication.
Thank you, Professor Brown and Professor Clark, and congratulations to each of our recipients. I'd also like to give a shout out to Lamarla Fletcher and Angelique Hawkins, because both of them did something that to me was really important. They applied for and were chosen, selected by the American Association for Respiratory Care's House of Delegates to come be a student mentor. It's a program where they got to go to the National Congress and meet respiratory therapists across the U.S. and make some networking. And I will say, they made us really proud. I have therapists reach back out to me and say, hey, the students you have, oh, your students. And that's been my experience, and I will say I was really proud to have you guys there with me. So thank you. The Lambda Beta Society is a national honor society for respiratory care. It was founded in 1986 as a means to promote, recognize, and honor scholarship, scholarly achievement, service, and character of students, graduates, and faculty members of the profession. Those offered membership must be among the top 25% of their class and excelled in the areas I just listed. Membership allows them to note it in their CV, their resume, as well as to be eligible for some scholarships. They'll always will be members of Lambda Beta. This distinction is not easily achieved, and those who are offered membership have demonstrated excellence in the profession. It is now my pleasure to perform the induction of our 2026 Lambda Beta members. Please come forward when your name is called and remain standing, come forward when your name is called. We'll leave it at that. We did used to do a thing where everybody stood up here, but we'll let you go back to your seat. All right.
All right, for the class of 2026, our first inductee is Angelique Hawkins. Pass it. All right, Sierra Morris. Janiyah Rhodes. Kayla Wilkerson. Additionally, this year, we would like to recognize one additional new Lambda Beta member. Lambda Beta accepts nominations for respiratory care faculty who have demonstrated superior scholarly achievement in the profession. This year, it is our pleasure to recognize our newest Lambda Beta faculty inductee for the numerous ways she has positively impacted respiratory therapy profession and serves as a role model for those seeking excellence as a respiratory therapist. It is our honor to award Lambda Beta membership to Ms. Alexis Pope, Assistant Professor of Respiratory Therapy. Alexis, please come forward and receive your cord and certificate. Whoop, whoop.
Congratulations, Lambda Beta members. Thank you for your diligence in pursuing your degree. Lambda Beta members may wear their cords of distinction at graduation, and I encourage you to wear them with pride. For the graduating class of 2026, I would now like to invite Lamarla Fletcher, class president, forward to share a message on behalf of her class as a graduate representative. Lamarla, you can come forward. And in case you didn't have a chance, I hope that maybe at the end we'll have a chance for you to see the PowerPoint with the class pictures, because they were amazing. This class has some wonderful memories to share with each other. Lamarla?
Good evening. Good evening to my fellow student body, faculty, parents, and staff. Thank you for joining us on this momentous occasion. Our induction ceremony commemorates the transition from student to respiratory therapist. The pin we receive represents the determination, dedication, and the sacrifice each of us made which allowed us to be standing here before you. So can you please join me in giving them a round of applause? I want to commemorate this moment briefly by journeying across the last year and a half. We started the respiratory therapy program in the fall of 2024. We faced many challenges and we weathered many storms, but we made it through together. Too many times did we want to give up, but we continued to move forward. Our path led us to form a strong bond. And even though we were strong together, we had an even stronger faculty support. And for that, I just want to say thank you. But they also pushed us to become leaders, and they challenged us. And as we step into this next chapter, I want to encourage each of you to continue leading with courage and integrity. The knowledge and skills we gained in this program are important, but the kind of people we choose to be in the profession matters just as much. Although our time is winding down on our journey of being respiratory students, it's only the beginning of our journey in becoming a respiratory therapist. Thank you.
Thank you, Lamarla. I would also like to take a minute, because we hadn't mentioned this, but we have a respiratory therapy student organization where we go out in the community, we share the information about how to care for yourself if you have pulmonary disease, to share the profession of respiratory therapy, and to get out there and just make a difference for others. They also have a little bit of fun. And if you were an officer for your M-Grade, Middle Georgia Respiratory Education Action Team, it's a mouthful, M-Grade, will you please stand? Thank you. Many thanks to these that helped lead the meetings, helped coordinate events, and really did some awesome fundraising too. Go out there. Y'all did great. It is now with pleasure this evening that I present these respiratory therapy graduates to Penning, finally, right? I would like to thank our respiratory therapy faculty for all the time and effort you've given in preparing them. Graduates and alumni, we, the faculty, are proud of you. And we will always consider you part of our Middle Georgia State University family. Now, I mean it. You're our family. You matter to us. You matter. We also want to encourage you to always continue to grow in our profession. So, for the class of 2026, Ms. Alexis Pope has the honor of pinning. Ms. Pope? Will the graduates rise and head to your spot? Will the graduates please come forward to be pinned when your name is called? And as they're getting in place, I will share, because I think that everyone in this class deserves to be recognized even if they could not be here in person tonight. Unique Beavers is also a graduate. Let's hear. And she unexpectedly could not come this evening, but we miss her and we congratulate her in this important moment in her life. All right, so for the class of 2026, Tanisha Battle. Matthew Blackwell, mostly known as Colin. Lamarla Fletcher. Deanne Garcia. Brandon Goodwin. Angelique Hawkins. Dontrese Jones. Sierra Morris. Alondra Perez. Janiyah Rhodes. Toriel Samuels. Chantrell Swan. Malachi Weatherspoon. Kayla Wilkerson. So as Kayla makes her to her seat, first, congratulations to you all. We are all so proud of everything you've accomplished. Now at this time, I'll ask all the graduates to please stand. I will now read the oath for respiratory therapy. Please respond, "I will," to each question. As a respiratory care practitioner, will you behave with integrity, support objectively, keep yourself mentally alert and physically strong, and foster trust in the profession, its allies, and its patients? Will you perform procedures within your scope of practice, shoulder more than your share when needed, divulge no protected knowledge, practice in an ethically and legally responsible manner, and remember that compassion and understanding are essential to patient care? Will you never doubt your determination, but respect your limitations? Be mindful to ask for assistance and continue to learn and grow in the profession, provide care without bias, and respect the rights and dignity of all patients? Will you remember, above all else, that your patient has entrusted his life in your hands and your every decision will impact that life? Everyone, I now present to you the graduating respiratory therapy entry-level program, class of 2026 of Middle Georgia State University. Congratulations. Okay, congratulations, graduates. If you'll turn back around, we're going to wrap this thing up. As we know, our futures hold many exciting and expected and challenging changes and experience ahead. As you approach this future, remember the foundation that you've built here, the friendships you have made, and the legacy you represent and make each day. Each of you is tremendously important to the future of the respiratory therapy profession. You are important to the respiratory therapy profession, and also to the patients you serve and to us. We hope you will always remember to remain a member of the American Association for Respiratory Care, your professional association, and an active alumnus of MGA's Alumni Association through our foundation. Most of all, we encourage you to go out and continue to do great things. Everyone, it has certainly been a pleasure for each of you to have joined us this evening in this celebration, as well as those who may be joining at home. Many thanks to our junior marshals, they're back there on that back row, they welcomed us in, who came out to lend a hand. Also, to Mr. John Coder and our AV, wonderful folks who just do all the things, for their support. They came in here early, have been working behind the scenes, and have really helped us. We could not do this without you. Thank you. I would like to share that as we recess and as you go out, If you are a parent, family member, mom, dad, aunt, grandma, whatever your relationship, we have some commemorative decals that, as long as they're still there, they'll be out to the right side, and our junior marshals will help you get some of those. It's kind of like proud to be the proud mom of an respiratory therapist kind of thing. So be sure and check that out. We want you to commemorate your RT. This program will be available for viewing tomorrow, and the link can be found on the MGA website at www.mga.edu/live. I would like to share a special thanks to those who made this evening possible: our faculty, our AV crew, and all those who support us each day. And while she's not here, Ms. Angela Bryce, who is our administrative assistant and who is really and truly the glue that keeps us together. Many congratulations to our graduates and best wishes. We wish you safe travels home. At this time, I would ask our graduates and all to arise, but please remain standing until the last graduate has processed out. Thank you for joining us this evening. Congratulations.